More flowers for thank you for the wedding. Oh,
That's nice.
they are so beautiful. And I know that wedding is going to last. We do free weddings here.
Oh, we do?
But isn't it beautiful? I'm like, and they smell great. That, you know what? Starting off the day beautifully.
Nobody in the first row, please. Make sure your phones are off or on silent.
And everyone, just give me a moment. Make sure you have a seat, please. And I'm going to call the docket. When I call your name, I need you to stand and let me know you're here. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Sean, hi. My niece had to be at the hospital 6 a.m. and they just took her back for surgery. No. Yeah, I know she will. It's just, she's 2. So, okay. Thur. So it's like, wow, we're doing a florist shop. And now I have to take care of all of these, which I will be able to do because I'm ready for a relationship. All right. Angela Lee Redwine, custody. Carly Alexis Green.
Where are you? Please stand up and introduce yourself.
Frank Perez. Thank you. David Cerna, custody. Israel Medellin. Israel Medellin. Gabrielle Rubinchuk.
She's in jail.
Oh, thank you. We'll find out when she comes out if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Gilbert Orozco. Mario Vargas. Thank you. Aiden Martinez. Ramon Sanchez, Stephen Gibson, custody. Carlos Gilbert Alamon. Here. Thank you. Ramon Sanchez, custody. Travis Mann. Present. Thank you. Oh, I did that. Oh, Maria Teresa. How do you pronounce the last name? Miara. Maria Teresa. All right. Thank you. Marie Teresa. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Marie Therese Miara, so there's no A anywhere.
See, they put A's on the docket. All right, thank you. Alberto Hernandez. Angela Redwine, custody. Roberto Hernandez, custody. Brennan Dane Short. Brennan Dane Short. John Thurnert. Thank you. How do you pronounce your last name? Thurnert. Okay, thank you. Naomi Hernandez, custody. Kishana Hullaby. Kishana Brie Renee Hullaby. Ramiro Guzman, custody. Jennifer Wilbur. Thank you. James Ross, custody. Andre Moody, Michael Sandoval, custody. Israel Medellin. Israel Medellin. Nicholas Dean Courtney, Roseanne Garcia, Michael Kilgore, Michael Mora, Jonathan Olege. Did I pronounce that correctly? I always mess that up. Custody. Victor Garcia. Thank you. Amoya Lewis, custody. Nelda Rios, custody. Dean Delgado, Jacob Bruno, custody. Jamari Simmons, that's a motion to reconsider. Ashley Draper Ward, custody. Vincent Alfonso, custody. Is there anyone present and your name was not called? All right, we'll start here. What's your name? Matthew Alfaro. Do you have a case number or SID number? What is it?
1057-459.
All right, and do you have an attorney? All right, and have you had contact with him? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Anyone else? Yes.
Joey.
How do you spell the last name?
G-A-R-N-I-C.
D, I'm sorry.
G-A-R-N-I-C.
All right, and do you have your case number or SID number? All right, do you know who your attorney is? All right, have you had contact with him? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Yes. You say Juarez or Flores? All right. Do you have a case number or SID number? All right, let me ask you this. Do you know who your attorney is? All right. Have you had contact with your attorney? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. All right, attorneys, you know the rules. Please follow the rules. Everyone, please confer. And it's Friday Eve, so today should be a great day. To go on sheet. Have to do some arrangements, because otherwise it's gonna get knocked over. That's. Bashan.
Yeah. Oh, that is so sweet, right?
This one would be.
Yeah. Oh. And if they tell you you're late, you can tell them you were here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm like. Oh.
What's the name?
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
my brother just called me. They're like, we got her, we're on the way home. So the surgery went well. Oh my God. Now, I just have to be on guard for my older brother's doctor's appointment.
It's gonna go well too.
You're right, it is gonna go well. Keep the faith, keep the faith.
Will you look at these two right quick? Tell me if you want her attorneys for them.
Okay, sure.
Not, we can just bring them on out and.
So is this person to go? Where are they supposed to go? Do we have his file here?
Yes.
Let me look at his file. All right, and on this one, yeah, we're gonna have them bring her out. And then I'm gonna speak to her. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, he's gonna need an attorney and a motion needs to be filed.
Let me double check.
Yes. I'm sorry, who? Okay, all right, thank you. We knew. Right. All right, and that is for Bruno? Okay. Yes. Oh, just find someone. Yeah. Hey, Carlos. All right, how's it going?
All pretty good. How
Yeah.
about yourself?
Hmm?
How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing okay. You know, family issues, roller coaster rides, medical issues.
I had my son over for a whole week because he lives in Austin.
Mhm.
He's an attorney in Austin and so is his wife. And they didn't have light for a whole week.
Oh my gosh. You don't know how dependent you are on that till you don't have it.
Well, I know for a fact because I sit on a well and when my light goes off, my water also goes off
Uh,
because it runs on electricity.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
See, my mom, of course, she grew up in the country, so she says, you know what? I can survive without the electricity, but I need my running water.
Yeah.
That's like number one.
Yeah.
Of course, it may be cold water, but you know, it's
You
water.
know what, I have a pool, right?
Mhm.
So I learned real quick, like, get that 5 gallon bucket. Fill it up. You don't need to fill it up all the way to the top.
Mhm.
This much, and it creates a flush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like, go dip.
Yeah.
Every restaurant has to have a bucket because it's like, it's horrible,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Because one time they had an outage in Shreveport and it was, I want to say it was a storm, but then it was cold. So, you know, lines start snapping. And I think they had a snow. And my mom called me. I'm like, do y'all have electricity? And, you know, she never tells me anything. She never wants word me. Oh, yeah, everything's fine. I'm like, I don't think it is. I'm like, I've already looked on the news. And so, but her city councilman at that time was so great because I called them and they made sure she had enough water. They made sure all the neighbors in her neighborhood had water.
But good.
But yeah, it's hard when you don't have it and you're used to
Yeah,
it.
just you, when you have a problem like that, you have to think solution. And all they have to do is like, okay, that company is not up to par. They had 3,000 workers on standby in case it diverted to
Mhm.
Houston. And when they saw that it might be going to Houston, they got 10,000. Obviously, that was way not
Mhm.
enough. It was
Yeah.
too
Oh, yeah.
short, right? So all you gotta do is, as the governor, right, or even the federal government, they gotta do is say, and something like that, you have to have an emergency fund. So that company did not want to hire, because people come in from like
Yeah,
Louisiana
everywhere, yeah.
and Oklahoma, but they get paid.
Hmm.
So my son said he would go anywhere. There would be a bunch of truck line, like in other states. They all sit in the trucks because they could not negotiate. Like, we want to get paid.
Hmm.
So let's assume that the company only wants to pay X amount. Well, that's supplemented by the, Texas governor and then the
Yeah.
federal government and get them paid
Yeah.
whatever they want to get
Yeah.
paid.
You know, and I don't know why they think people would come and really work for free because that's a dangerous job, first of all. But I remember when there was the issue in Louisiana, people were coming from Texas, Oklahoma, everywhere. But yeah.
Those slush fund were. Oh, Houston, can you imagine? That 10,
Mhm.
that's all backed up.
Oh, yeah.
And we just got a new one.
Mm-hmm. And then it's constant construction.
Yeah.
Never ends, never ending story. You know what? If you want a good employment, that it will always be there for you. Construction on the freeways and the highways, because it's never done.
Yeah,
And if you can own that business, that's a good job to have.
yeah. You can sit on the project for 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah. And I don't know what, and I don't know, I haven't read up on it enough, but it would seem to me if they said, we're gonna pay you every 30 miles. Like, here's your increment. You finish 30 miles, here's 30 miles for that money. And then I guarantee you, I think people will move quicker.
You can definitely cut it down to 5 miles.
Yeah,
5 miles is a long ways.
Yeah.
Finish that one, and do the other 5.
Mhm.
Don't carve off everything.
oh my gosh, and it is horrible when they carve it out, and they always pick rush hour to do it.
Well, right now, I like 1604. I don't get on it, but my daughter, who's a professor at UTSA, she has to get on it. And she says that UTSA, you got to keep up with when is it going to be shut down?
See, you know what? When I first came to San Antonio, they were talking about how bad it was on 1604. So I just try to avoid it at all costs.
That's what I do.
Mhm.
Unless I really, really have to, or I don't have a choice,
Mhm.
you avoid that thing.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
It's totally unpredictable. You
Mhm.
never know when it's going to be all like that.
Oh, yeah, and nobody knows what the speed limit is.
That's part of the problem. People go 75, 80. Said, this is a dangerous freeway. You can't drive that fast.
No. Oh, yeah. And then it is because they're doing constructions on part of it. Then you have like the brick wall,
Mhm.
and you're just like, they need to come up something better than that brick wall. I know they're trying to stop people from going off the sides or whatever, but surely we're supposed to be an intelligent species. We can come up with something other than the brick wall so that the person who's maybe going to end up slamming into the brick wall survives. I guess we're asking for too much.
Yeah, I think part of our complaining has to do with, once you start getting our age, it
Yeah.
starts like, we look at it as common sense.
Mm-hmm.
And other people see it like a huge problem.
Yeah.
We need to address transportation in San Antonio.
Oh,
Period.
no, most definitely.
Period.
Because otherwise, how high are you going to stack the freeways? And I'm not a height person. Heights get to me in enclosed spaces. At some point, what are we going to do? 10 levels high on a freeway? Just makes no sense, but we
need-
shall see.
We need a rail.
I'm for the rail.
Thank you. Drew.
You're welcome. Who's here? Alberto Hernandez? Alberto Hernandez, attorney?
Ben's just stepped out the hallway, right?
All right, if you'll grab him, please. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm used to seeing the green box. This top.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Moody, Andre Moody.
Hello.
Hi, Judge.
Hi, Mr. Hernandez, come forward. All right, so what are we doing with this case?
It'll be a plea today, Judge.
A
If,
plea today?
yes, if
All
we're
right.
able to reset for the PSI though, so Monica can give us anything.
Yes. All right, if you'll get the paperwork together, we'll take care of it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Andre Moody?
Yes, Judge, they didn't bring him out yet. I'm in trial in 5. We're about to close. I conferred to the extent that we need to confer today because there's some stuff that the state needs to look into. I'll try and make it back before 12.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Cool, all right, good luck.
They will. All right, Ashley Draper Ward. Come down. Hello.
Hello.
All right. You have a choice today. Here's your choice, and these are the only two choices you have. You're either going to felony drug court or the state will file a motion to revoke. I'll hear the motion to revoke. And if I find that the allegations in the motion are true, you're looking at 2 years in the state jail facility. Those are your two choices.
I want to show for it.
All right, why do we need for you to come here to follow the rules that the court has set in place for you? Why do we need to have this conversation when all you had to do was sign?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I didn't intentionally miss. I don't know if I had to fold it or what, but I was really sick. I was throwing up and
No, that's not what they tell me happened. They tell me you refused. It wasn't.
That's why I refused. I was really sick and I had been a sick call, but they wouldn't call me out.
No, I don't believe you. Let me just tell you why I don't believe you. If a program has been ordered and you're sick and they tell you, oh, we need to see you today. What you tell them is like, I'm sorry, I think I have COVID. I can't see you today. I'm very interested in your program and I know the judge has ordered and I want to be in it. But instead, you didn't do that. So don't come to me telling me stories that make absolutely no sense. Nobody does that in the real world. So when I order something, you need to follow through. If you don't want to follow through, let us know. We'll move on to the next person. I do remember the names and faces of everybody that I sent to prison. But if you wish to go to prison and be done with this, I will send you. And guess what? I'll move on to the next person and see if they would like to be in programs that are presented for them. All right. Ms. Abrams, is felony drug court willing to accept her? All right, you're going to felony drug court.
Yes.
Your late back? No. Yeah, on the docket? Have a seat. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine, but don't leave, okay?
Go
Don't
down
go
the
far.
hall.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I. Oh, sure. Well, I was waiting because then I brought my guys up. This isn't sensitive. Oh. How's it going? Oh, really? Doesn't do it yet. You think with the new system.
What do I thought?
Here's my eyes. The other guy is, I just got appointed to him. I couldn't look at the docket. No, that's a different guy. Jacob Bruno. He's on the, I think, I just got appointed right this second. Mhm. Yes. And Judge, whenever you have a chance, I want to do it.
All right. All right, Kashana Brianna Hullaby. Come forward. All right, your attorney is just coming in from Europe, so we're gonna recall your case. Norma, recall this for July 22nd. And you need to make sure you're inside the courtroom, otherwise a warrant's gonna be issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give her reset form.
Thank you.
And I'll call you up with the service that was done.
Jesse Demas.
Okay. Judge, that was just me. He's not on the docket.
Okay.
I was just asking to move it from Tuesday to Wednesday of next week. I'm in a different. time zone.
We can do it Thursday, or we can do it Monday, we can do it Tuesday, we can do it Thursday,
Just not Wednesday.
just not Wednesday or Friday.
You know, I'll keep it on Tuesday. I'll just,
Sure.
I'll struggle and just get it.
Okay.
Yeah, because.
I mean, if you wanted to move it to the following week,
I'm out of town. Dominican Republic. That's what I'm trying to like get everything. out.
okay,
Get everything out. Like,
all right,
it's okay.
all right, sure.
Thank you.
I didn't, numbers you can give out.
He's gotta keep that as is. Amaya Lewis. All right, so this is the case that we're trying to figure out what to do. Because she was referred to felony drug court, dual diagnosis, and we were recalled for today. So what is the status on that?
Judge, go ahead. Go ahead.
Apologies for interrupting.
Yes,
The state will take into consideration the new number one, alternative many conditions to include felony drug courts. And since the new number one is the only violation allegation, we would withdraw that motion.
all right, but is drug court going to accept her?
Yes, Judge. So she was on the list to be accepted because of the MTR still being active, they wouldn't accept her. So we need to.
All right.
I think I told you, email us back.
Okay, it hasn't come to me. Yeah, I don't have it. All right, thank you.
So judges just want to make sure you're okay with just alternate amending the condition.
Yes, because I wanted her to be in felony drug court.
Okay.
And the last time we were here, June 27th, I wanted her to be referred to felony drug court. And I guess, as you all were saying, felony drug court technically wouldn't accept her because of the new case. So
Right.
yes, let's do that. So are we going to take it in consideration and withdraw the motion?
That's our understanding, Judge.
Is that correct?
Well, this is a sticky subject because I'm not sure if we can take it into consideration if she's not being sentenced or if
that's
there's a
true.
judgment. So we might call it further investigation.
All right, so if,
Which, as far as I'm concerned, is fair because we still need the drug ID report to begin.
all right, so then they'll dismiss it for further investigation and then we'll withdraw the motion.
It works. It's perfect.
All right, does that work for everyone?
Works for me, Judge.
All right, so felony drug court is a very good program. That's why I wanted you in it, because they'll be able to address any drug issues and also mental health issues. And communication there is very important as well. They have therapists there that will speak to you and hopefully get you back on track. All right, but the same thing applies. If there's issues and you feel like they're not addressing it, which I highly doubt they won't address them. But if you feel like they're not, you can always come back to me, and once you graduate, I will come to your graduation. All right?
Really good program. Doing a lot of help.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, good luck to you. Do you need anything else?
No, just wanted to know when I'm gonna be going to the program.
Oh, well, now that you will be automatically accepted, because everything, all of the impediments will be out of the way, they will probably contact you either today or tomorrow. And we're going to send the information to them that your case has been taken care of here. So they'll accept you immediately.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Good luck. Yes.
Thank you for your signature.
Yes. Thank you.
Off the rest.
Just 1 second. All right, to those of you who are in the audience, if you're waiting for your attorney, the court is going to take its recess at noon. If your attorney is not here, you have the court's permission to step out in the hallway and call your attorney. Where are you going?
Ireland. This is not the normal Chumley lifestyle. This is, we got invited to stay at a home for a week there for free.
Oh, you can't beat that. And Ireland is beautiful
Oh, I
this
know.
time
I
of year.
can't go- Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. And I'm giving you this advice. You can accept it or not accept it. I think you should accept it. Deputy Laura, he's going to Ireland, so I'm trying to give him some advice. Jason?
Yes.
He's going to Ireland, so I'm trying to give him some advice. So that whole thing you see about leprechauns,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a catch. So if you catch one, they'll give you their gold, but they're gonna want it back. So
You're
And
really
it's not gonna turn out well for you. And they will sit there and they will count it.
Yeah.
And if there's a coin missing, they're gonna hunt you down.
Yeah.
So just don't even, just say, oh, no.
It's sort of like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
They want that gold back.
You can take him out to the pub, but don't take the goal. All right, who's here for Victor Garcia? All right, Mr. Garcia. Just one moment. My computer is working very slow today. Who I want?
I thought I was over there.
No, yeah. The deputy said for security reasons, it's best to have defense attorneys on this side. And of course, I stay in my lane. I'm like, I'm not in charge of security. All right. So who is the state on Victor Garcia?
Sorry, Judge.
Oh, no problem.
Didn't realize it was coming up.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1129, State of Texas versus Victor Mel Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense,
Todd Lessert for Victor Garcia.
are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered into a plea on April 18th, of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence and the court found you guilty. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison, and the state is remaining silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? Court, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
There's just two clarifications I'd like to make for the court.
Yes.
On page 4, there's a notation that he was at the time of the offense on bond, on probation, and also on parole. Those are all inaccurate. He was none of those at the time the offense was committed. And in addition, on the TAP evaluation, it states that he was not motivated or minimally motivated for rehabilitation or some type of treatment for substance abuse. That is also incorrect. The way the PSI speaks of the way the defendant feels about substance abuse treatment is correct, Your Honor. He is motivated for that. So I'd make those two clarifications.
All right, and then I'm reviewing the PSI report as well. And on the first page, it says guilt minimize. What is that about?
Judge, he absolutely is acknowledging his guilt, so I don't know if we're in agreement with that as well, but
Okay.
I'll let my client speak to that.
All
particular
right,
element.
do you have any witnesses?
Just my client. His wife's here today, but I don't feel that she'd be able to add anything to the mix for you, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Victor Garcia.
All right. Make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear. And to the attorneys who are behind the court reporter, excuse me, counsels, if you all could move down to the other end.
Yes.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia has just started a new job with a drilling company and is currently still operating his own tree trimming business that he started last year. His son has just started college. He's been trying to walk the line as best he can after having been in trouble with the law some time ago. He has a very good relationship with both his family and his work and the community. And we're asking the court to please grant his application for probation. I do know that he would like to say a few words to the court as well.
All right, do you have questions for your client?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Garcia, are you asking this court to grant you probation?
Yes, sir.
And why do you feel that you're a good candidate for probation?
Because my kids and I'm no longer that person that, I was back then. I've been doing my best to, stay in line. I've been doing, everything, the right way, and I just yeah.
Yeah, well, you understand you are a convicted felon,
Yes, sir.
and you understand that as a convicted felon, you can't possess a firearm.
Yes, sir.
And in this case, you're not saying you weren't in possession of a firearm. You had that in your truck, did you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was that something that you do on a daily basis, or would that have been some oversight on your part and your wife's part?
That was just oversight. It was a mistake. It was just behind it. Never happened again. No guns.
I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
No question, to stay aside.
All right, so here's my problem. You know you're not supposed to have a weapon, and yet you have a weapon. In the stipulations that was agreed to, he made it seem as though he was unaware there was a weapon in the seat. That's just according to what's in the stipulations, not what he's saying. And then he does admit in the stipulations, the police report, oh, well, I had marijuana and I was trying to hide that. And he shouldn't have been doing that either. And so my concern is that I don't know if you've learned anything. And this is why I say that. You have a criminal trespass case. That's from 1998. You were granted probation, and then the probation was discharged in 2000. Criminal trespass, juvenile. Then you had a graffiti. Then you were given probation for that. Then your probation was extended. Then your probation was extended again. And all of these child in need of supervision, that tells me that your parents are probably not active. Or maybe you just don't want to be in school. But when we come to his adult record, this is the adult record. 2004 theft, $50 to $500. You were given deferred adjudication. That deferred adjudication was revoked and you were sentenced to 30 days. Then in November 2004, you had another theft. You were sentenced to 40 days in jail. Then in 2005, you had a possession of marijuana. You were sentenced to 15 days in jail. Then in 2020, you had a possession of marijuana. It was dismissed in the interest of justice. So those are all your misdemeanors. And it appeared that you didn't learn anything from being on deferred, because then the felony, we have possession of controlled substance less than a gram. You were given 3 years deferred adjudication. It was revoked and they sentenced you to 2 years in the state jail facility. And at that time, it shows that you had motions to revoke where they continued you, tried to address the drug issues. Then in 2011, you had possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance and you were sentenced to 5 years in prison. And those were 3 cases with possession with intent to deliver. And I think they all ran concurrently. Then in 2014, you're released from prison and you have another possession, 4 to 200 grams case, and you were sentenced to 6 years prison for that. And so you're habitual. And I know the state waived the habitual allegations, but I just don't see why he's a good candidate.
Judge, if I may, those.
Then we have the gang membership that's happening here. So if you want to address those and why the court should take a chance on him, I'm all ears and I'm still keeping an open mind, but I'm telling you what my concerns are. And I want to see how those concerns can be alleviated, because it appears that he's just continuing to pick up cases.
Mr. Garcia, are you still a gang member?
No, Your Honor. No, sir.
So you're no longer affiliated with the gang that you joined in prison, correct?
No, I got out right before I got out the gang before I got out of prison. I actually got out, and there's a way you get in, there's a way you get out, Judge. And before I got out, I became, that's why I gave the lady my certificates and all that when I was in prison. I didn't just do nothing in there. I got my GED, I got vocational stuff. I went to church. I give my life to God in there, and that's right where I'm at now. That's why I'm still out. And I got no.
But so here's my
tickets, I have
thing.
no
You're
tra-
telling
nothing.
me you gave your life to God while you're in prison. You got out of the gang while you're in prison. And yet we're here for a criminal charge, because obviously that didn't take, the criminal charge is a felon possessing a weapon, not allowed. And then the use of marijuana.
I'm not perfect, Judge. And it was wrong what they said because I told them, I think the gun is in there because we went to the ranch and we had the gun. She has her gun, my wife, and she's back there and it was her gun. She left it underneath her seat where she sits there. And when I went to work that day, I forgot to put my blinkers, so they pulled me over. And the area I work in is a bad area. And anyway, he asked me, had any drugs, any weapons? I said, dang, I think she left it in there. It's in there at the gun. And that's where they found it.
Mr. Garcia,
But
are you motivated to have treatment for substance abuse? Do you acknowledge you have a substance abuse problem?
yes, sir.
Okay. And you've been arrested and gotten in trouble with drugs for a lot of times, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
In fact, the majority of your offenses that the judge just read off are drug offenses, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
So, do you feel that if this judge is gracious enough to grant you probation, you're going to be able to fulfill this court's wishes?
Yeah, yes, sir. Because back then I didn't have no key, like I was still dumb and doing dumb things. My kids weren't, I got a son that's just going to college, you know, just signed him up yesterday, SAC. And I got another son, he wants to be an officer. I got my daughter, you know, it's back then it was different. You know, it was, I was, you know, I'm making fast money, stuff like that. But
So you're saying you have a change of motivation, yes?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%. And I have people that could vouch for that. Your Honor, I do.
All right. Do y'all remember what the police report says?
I didn't even go.
All right, this is what the police report says. They were pulling you over because they had complaints of prostitution and drug activity in that area. And they said you had an expired registration sticker on the front windshield. So they said the vehicle was now heading south. I was able to get behind the vehicle at the 1400 block of Roosevelt Avenue and initiated my overhead emergency lights to have the listed vehicle veer over for a traffic stop. The driver, that's you, of the vehicle motioned with his left arm out the window, indicating that he was going to pull over left at the next traffic light. However, I observed the driver hunched over forward as if he were either reaching for something or hiding something either under the center console or under the seat. Vehicle finally comes to a stop. And then they say, this officer said he told the officer, use caution because of your suspicious movements in the vehicle. The officer makes contact with you at the right passenger window. And the officer told you why, the reason for the traffic stop, and asked why you were moving so much in the vehicle before coming to a complete stop. They're saying you told Rodriguez that you were hiding a marijuana joint underneath the center part of the bench seat. Officer instructed you to speak with him as he stood by the driver's door. Officer motioned for you to exit the vehicle, and you exit the vehicle without hesitation. And then the officer said they again told you why they were making contact with you, and they asked you if you had any weapons on your person, and the officer quickly conducted a pat down for the safety. And then they asked you if you had anything in the vehicle that they needed to know about. And you said, yeah, I have my wife's gun under the seat. I mean, this is the stipulations. And that's where the gun was recovered, underneath the seat. Anyone want to address these?
Well, Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, did you tell the truth to the officer about whether or not you were doing something underneath the seat regarding the marijuana?
No, I told him the truth that I was hiding I had a roach. It was in my ashtray and I was trying to close the thing. I went like that and I closed it in the console so he wouldn't see it. I'm guilty.
And you also admitted that you had your wife's pistol in the truck, didn't you?
Yes, I didn't remember. I wasn't really, I think she left her gun underneath the seat. But if he saw it, why did he just get off the car and say that? Well, why was I reaching the seat? Like he should have got me out the car saying I was doing something, you know, but he didn't do none of that. There was none of that. I told him that my wife, and she even called him on the phone. She was gonna go pick up the gun in the truck and they still took him. He called my wife, but they were all going to jail. And like I said, Your Honor, I work in an area where there's prostitution, it's bad, that area, it's bad, there's crackheads everywhere and all that. I don't work there no more though.
So I mean, the fact that that's a very bad area, why do you think that's important for me to know?
Because he put that in there, that there's prostitution in that area. He said, he made it sound like I was doing something like completely wrong. I mean, I was, my sticker was, it was off, and I did have marijuana. I'm good for that.
You weren't there trying to
And
pick
I'm
up a
good- I'm good
prostitute,
for-
were you?
No way. I'm married, sir. I don't know.
State any questions? I know you're silent, but any corrections?
No.
All right. All right, this is what's gonna end up happening. You're gonna take a seat in the box. Either decision that I make today, you're not leaving the courtroom today. Either I'm gonna give you probation and you're gonna end up in treatment, or either I'm sending you to prison. I just want to think about this some more. All right, so they're gonna put you in the box.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And counsel, just give me 15 minutes.
Yes, sure.
I just want to look over some things in the PSI report again. On Garcia. Yeah, see if they can clear up this gang affiliation for me. And let her know, one of the gang affiliations they have in there is like, yes, San Antonio. And I'm trying to see if he's still a gang member or not. Thank you. Carlos Alaman,
Present, Judge.
all right. All right. Mr. Alaman, today is the plea deadline date.
Your Honor, we are asking for one extension as we've made an offer, they've made a counter offer. I had spoken previously to the victim about the offer I was going to make.
Mhm.
I do need some time to speak to them about this counter offer. We are really working towards a resolution, Your Honor.
Okay. Norma, on Carlos Alaman, if you can recall that in 3 weeks.
Judge, I have a vacation letter through August. Could we do the early September?
Okay, when does your vacation start?
The last part of July, July 27th through the end of August.
All right, Norma, recall this back on July 25th. Yeah, that's your plea deadline date.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, if you'll have a seat, they'll do the reset form for you and bring it to you. Brennan Short.
Judge, he's in federal custody in El Paso.
Okay,
I tendered the state today his federal sentence of 11 years.
Mhm.
And I'm seeking to the state to review it for dismissal.
Judge, that's something I'll have to take by a supervisor to see.
all right. So this, we'll set it. And you say you're gone the month of August?
Yes, ma'am.
When will you be back?
Could you do that second week of September, Judge?
All right, Norma, and on Brennan Short, if you can recall this for September 12th.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yeah, Alamon is on July 25th.
You don't want to do that one for September. Judge?
No. And Short is going to be on September 12th. Yes.
Do that.
Thank you. Is this on the docket today?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right, could I see the file on Robert Hernandez, please? Robert Ortiz Hernandez. He's on page 4. All right, could I see Roberto Hernandez? Ah, he's in custody? Oh, then I don't want to put you through that. Let him know his case was dismissed and tell him don't come back here again for this.
Please,
Hi,
Judge, thank you.
all right, how you doing? All right, have a good one.
Very well. May I see you?
All right, thank you. Yes. 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 Could I see the parties on Garcia? Where's the attorney for Victor Garcia? Okay, well, I will. Take a look. All right. Does anyone have Todd Lessert's cell number? If you could call him and tell him he's needed back in court, please. All right, thank you. All right, the court is going to proceed on Mario Vargas. Can I have parties approach for the record, please? The court is calling 2024 CR 1737, State of Texas versus Mario Alberto Vargas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Jeb Block for Mr. Vargas.
And are you Mr. Mario Vargas?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vargas, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Vargas, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes,
Did you understand by entering this plea, you are giving up those rights?
yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vargas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial off the record. Bashan, this is Mario Vargas. And it's an application. All right, we're back on the record. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends community supervision. There's to be restitution, if any, to Javier Villarreal, two-year driver's license suspension, and ignition interlock for half the term of probation. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
That is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 10 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition, and 150 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation? Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State exhibit number 1 with all the attachments.
We reviewed it, Judge. No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And defense, with regards to the stipulation, do you stipulate that the cause number and the enhancements to make this jurisdictional 2018 DT 755 is the same as the judgment that states 18 DT 755?
Yes, Judge.
After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We could proceed today.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, with respect to the plea bargain, we ask that you follow it with the terms and conditions with the 10 days in Bear County Jail. We would hope the judge or would request the court to consider electronic monitor for a period. Mr. Vargas works as an electrician and supports his family. The employment is very important to him and his success on probation. And so if there's a way to substitute that requirement, we would certainly elect to do the electronic monitor instead.
Is he able to afford GPS? Because,
I think he could afford it for 30 days, Judge,
all right,
unless you can waive it.
no, I mean, it's a third-party contract. The only way that it can be waived, he has to go to the jail, and they may be able to do it there.
I think it would be beneficial to him to pay that and be on electronic monitor based on what we discussed.
All right, Mr. Vargas, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
15, 11, 5, and then I have 2 twins. They're about to be 2 on Saturday.
All right. And your employment, is that self-employment or you work for a company?
I work for a company.
All right, so talk to me about this. Excuse me, guys, y'all are too loud. All right. So it's obvious to the court that you have an alcohol problem. You should not be drinking, period. Because you're one of those people who, if you drink, you're not going to stop. And you just told me the number of children you had. Guess what? There could have been a car accident with an intoxicated driver, and it could have been your children in the car. And how would you have felt if you're at the Bear County Jail and you find out, yeah, your children were in an accident, hit by a driver who was intoxicated, and then they tell you you're the driver who hit your children?
Be devastated, Your Honor.
Yeah, and everybody else will be devastated. There's a problem with people drinking and driving. I don't know why that people always assume they're going to drink 1 glass and call it a day. If you're going to drink alcohol, all you need to do is have somebody in your group say, I'm going to be the one who's not going to drink at all. I'll be the one who drives. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Everyone, please whisper. Court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you. Excuse me, everybody. Nobody is reading that sign. What does that sign say over there? Thank you. And we're on the record. So if y'all will step back, and probation cannot even hear or see what's going on because you all are blocking her. Mr. Dunn? Zach? Hey, if you guys can move, y'all are blocking probation's line of view. Okay, thank you. All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. The court will sentence you to 30 days GPS partial for employment only in lieu of the 10 days at the Bear County Jail. And the reason why the court is doing it, the court is finding that there will be a hardship for him to go to the jail since, counsel, you have informed me as an officer of the court, he's a financial supporter for his family. Also, there's an overcrowding at the jail. I believe they've reached maximum capacity and there are germs at the jail. And he's told me he has twins. So that's just a perfect storm waiting to happen if he goes to the Bear County Jail. All right. And you're going to need to get that GPS ASAP. So Ms. Abrams, if he can get on the GPS by tomorrow.
That's not gonna be possible. Give them 5 days.
All right. Let me see here. You're going to need to have the GPS installed within 5 days. The only reason that GPS should not be installed within 5 days if there is something on the GPS side of things, not because you're not reporting.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me see. I'm going to give you till August 2nd. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. Make sure they test for alcohol. There's going to be a 2-year license suspension. Ignition interlock for half the term. DWI education course. Victim Impact Live. We can do a TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow TAP recommendations. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. I'm also going to want a referral to felony drug court, and do not go to felony drug court if they accept you and say, I can't do this, I'm too busy. These are the prices that we pay for picking up offenses. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want a referral to felony drug court. And of course, that can be out of custody. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. $150 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once you complete parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings and 90 days. Field visits, 1 time per month for 2 months. And probation, if he is enrolled in GPS before the 2 months and probation feels that everything is as it should be after 1 month, then you can just do the 1 month. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled trial court certification? Oh, I'm sorry, there is one more thing. There's to be restitution, if any, to Javier Villarreal and counsel if for any reason you think the restitution is high, or if your client's insurance has paid for restitution, you can always approach and have a restitution hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. I cannot stress to you enough how when people drink and drive, you know who ends up getting killed? Just the regular person who's on their way to work. Usually the drunk driver is never killed. I always think it's because they're so loosey-goosey and they're going with where the crash takes them. But it's normally the drunk driver walks away unscathed. There was a story that this pastor told where you had this young man constantly getting in trouble, drinking and driving, and his mom would always go to the jail to bail him out. So he's in another accident and he's at the jail, calling, waiting for his mom to come bail him out. And you know what the police tell him? Hey, you killed somebody. And he's like, yeah, but I need my mom to come bail me out. And you know what they told him? Don't you realize the person you killed was your mom? So you could easily have killed your wife, your children, or anything of that nature. Whenever you're thinking about picking up a bottle to drink, if you don't want to do it for yourself, think about your children. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're looking at potentially 10 years in prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Victor Garcia. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 1129, State of Texas versus Victor Garcia. And you're Mr. Lessert,
Yes, ma'am.
and you're Mr. Garcia. All right, Mr. Lessert, you had left the courtroom. I had asked for the PSI officer to call the court because I had some questions about the PSI. And of course, I don't like to do anything ex parte, but you were not present. So what I can tell you is the PSI officer, my question was about his drug affiliation. So it appears that what he was telling me was true because the PSI officer says that in 2017, that's when he gave up his affiliation. And then he was released from prison in 2018. And I understand that sometimes when you go to prison, you have to join a group in order to make sure your prison stay is one where you're able to survive your prison stay. So I'm going to give you a choice. Here are your choices. I will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, or either I will take a chance on you and give you probation. And you can speak to your attorney about that. I will tell you, people say in this court probation is hard. I don't do cookie cutter probations. My probations, the conditions I set are designed for, so hopefully people will be successful. So you can speak to your attorney about that and make up your mind. But either way, you're going somewhere today that's not immediately back home. So if you are on probation out of this court, I'm gonna do a referral to felony drug court. It's gonna be while you're in custody. And there'll be a referral to SATF if felony drug court does not accept you. You understand? All right, so I'm gonna give you a chance to speak to your attorney. Okay? Who's here on Kilgore Jr.? All right, is this for sentencing? What?
No, it's an MTR, Judge.
All right, could I have a
But-
file stamp?
We're, yeah, okay. We
Oh.
are, we are.
Oh, no.
All right, Judge.
Okay, what's going on?
There's several additional new number ones.
Okay.
allegedly, And they're alleged on the MTR, Judge. I don't know if they may want to ask for a contested or if we want to wait until it's indicted.
All right, and what are the alleged new number ones?
Well,
Assault, felon possession, and possession.
And at assault, ag assault or
What's,
We're on page 6, okay,
okay, no, help me, please.
okay, yeah. All right, so with regards to the possessions cases, I think that's gonna be a while till y'all get labs.
Judge, I'd have to talk to intake. I mean, with Odyssey, I don't know exactly. I mean, it seems like these cases are from, I believe, May. Is that correct?
Yes, May
I
22nd.
mean, so it's relatively new still, but if they're just cocaine or heroin or something like that, it should be pretty quick, like 60 days.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna recall this in 30 days to see where we are. And I'll set it as a discovery. Then after that, it's gonna be set for a contested.
Okay.
All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, August 15th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer. Michael Sandoval.
If we have an agreement subject to your approval.
Okay. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 0123, State of Texas versus Michael Anthony Sandoval Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Case is here in hand, Your Honor.
defense?
Carlos Martinez for the defendant.
All right, and are you Michael Anthony Sandoval Jr.?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Michael Anthony Sandoval Jr., who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 0123 for the offense of fraudulent use or possession of identifying information items less than 5 on February 24th, 2020 for a period of 2 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, your honor. Violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Michael Anthony Sandoval Jr. The vendor failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of May, June, October, November, and December 2020, violation condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court can find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
And that is to grant the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke the individual's community supervision. And pursuant to a 1244, sentence him to 100 days in the Bear County Jail.
That's correct, Judge. That's the understanding of the agreement that we have. Subject to your approval.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Michael Anthony Sandoval Jr.
Why are you not successful on this probation?
When I was young, I didn't take it serious.
How old are you now?
I'm 24.
All right, so that young thing only applies really if you're 18 in felony court. So you were not 18 when you were placed on probation. So why are you not reporting?
COVID happened and I just stopped reporting.
Right.
And
Probation on Mr. Sandoval, do you have a court summary? I can't find it in my email. Do you have any family?
yes,
All right, who's your support system?
my mother, my grandmother, and my sisters.
What have you done since you've been on probation?
I got a new job. I'm an electrician. I joined our local union and I've been there for about 2 years now. I just had a daughter. She just turned 3 years old in May.
Mhm.
I haven't gotten any trouble since. I've been good. I've just been working, raising my daughter.
And counsel, do you have any knowledge of his employment?
Yes, Your Honor. Matter of fact, the mom was calling my office yesterday and the day before saying that the employer was about to give us what we needed of the proof of employment, but he was being kind of slow on it. And I said, well, we already have court on Thursday, but that was on the works. And from the people that came into my office, it was the mom, the grandma, 2 sisters, very concerned because according to them, it was 20 at the time, this incident. He's completely turned around, no trouble, working hard. He's an electrician, part of the union.
Yes.
And also the 3-year-old, he says that he's a very good father. I said, the problem we have is that he just stopped reporting.
So somebody needs to call to see if he really has a job with this electrician, because otherwise,
I mean, you could call the local union and they'll tell you the IBW 60.
no, I mean, I won't call. Yeah.
I'm just stating on the
So
record.
counsel, if you want to call,
Yeah.
and counsel, if you come back to me and let me know what you discovered, of course, you're an officer of the court, I'll take it as
Yes,
true.
Judge.
All right.
I could do that because the mom was trying to set that up yesterday.
Okay,
And why not pick it up this morning?
all right,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
okay, just have a seat.
Thank you.
All right, Victor Garcia. Hi. So we're back on the record in 2024 CR 1129, State of Texas versus Victor Garcia. Mr. Garcia, what have you chose?
You can grant me probation, Your Honor.
Okay. I should say, what have you chosen? All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. There's going to be a referral to felony drug court in custody. And counsel, you'll need to talk to felony drug court and let them know that I've talked to the PSI officer and she says that he's no longer gang affiliated. So you'll need to let them know that. Otherwise, that's going to be a major red flag for them. If not accepted, into felony drug court, then it's going to be SATA. I'm sorry, not SATA, probation. Does ISF still have a drug portion? Yes. All right, if not felony drug court, then it'll be state ISF. Because I figure they can address your drug issues and they can also address your mental thinking. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There should be regular random UAs. 100 hours of community service restitution. How many children do you have?
3, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
17, he's about to be 18, 16 and 10.
All right, I'm gonna order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. And I'm gonna order the MRT. And I'm gonna want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
May it please the court.
Yes.
I did want to just point out that Mr. Garcia has just started a new job with Cato Drilling 2 weeks ago. And I just didn't know what the turnaround might be for felony drug court. I don't want him to.
Drug court is, they'll be able to see him for the referral next week and let him know if they accept him next week.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna have to go over there and make sure that you talk to them, because again, his history will give people red flags. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you came to court, you presented yourself great, which I appreciate you dressing appropriately for court. But I want you to remember this day, because probably when you came to this court, you're looking at your criminal history, you think you're going to prison. I'm sure you're probably thinking, there's probably a 90% chance I may go to prison, but miracles do happen. This feeling that you felt when you came in and you thought you were going to prison, you need to hold on tight to that, because people ask to be on probation and people will tell me sometimes, I promise you, I will test every single day, or I won't step out of line. And then when the cold, hard facts hit them of what probation is in this court, they backslide. They don't report. They don't get a job. They smoke a lot of marijuana, which you're not allowed to smoke marijuana on probation, You're not allowed to drink alcohol on probation. And I know people say, why the judge is being so hard? I'm in my house. Why can't I drink alcohol in my house? It's because the law says when you're on probation, no alcohol in the house, no marijuana in the house. And I'm telling you right now, your wife, I'm assuming she loves you. You cannot have guns in that house, period. And you are a felon. You are not allowed to possess any weapons. Sometimes people do stupid things when they're young and they're doing young and dumb things. Well, the laws have changed. If you have a felony conviction, you can't have a weapon, period. If you're in a bad part in the neighborhood, can't have a weapon, period. There are only a few exceptions where as a felon, you can pick up a weapon and your attorney will be able to tell you about that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you're accepted in felony drug court and you graduate, I will most definitely show up at your graduation. Good luck to you. If you need anything and you feel like probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. We're here Monday through Friday, not on holidays or weekends. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
May I have a seat?
Jacob Bruno. Hello.
Good morning.
Are the Steelers going to do anything? Do we know?
I think so, yeah.
Look at Bashan. Bashan is like, yes.
Got Russell Wilson. I mean, they'll be better than they were last year.
Well,
It's
you
better
know-
than Kenny Pickett.
Well, you know what? Michael DeLeon, he's like my older brother. He's a diehard Cowboys
Yeah.
fan. He's like, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. I'm like, and I'm with the Saints. We'll see what happens. It's, you know,
That was not a running back.
you know what? Every season is just filled with hope. That's all you can do. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 7267 State of Texas versus Jacob Roland Bruno. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Andrew Harris Edelman.
defense?
Roberto Ambrosino.
And are you Mr. Bruno? Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney, and did you understand it? All right. And counsel, you were recently appointed, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you waiving your notice?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Bruno, are you waiving the notice and you wish to proceed with this hearing? All right. Are you the same Jacob Roland Bruno who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 7267 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on August 31st, 2023 for a period of 6 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Violated condition number 4.
All right, the state is alleging that in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jacob Roland Bruno did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of April 2024 in violation of condition number 4. How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
All right. State, any other allegations to proceed on?
Waive the remaining allegations, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, to revoke supervision and assess punishment at 2 years of confinement in the penitentiary.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Bruno, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Court will find you guilty. The court will revoke, assess your sentence at 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Let's see. All right, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a part of your sentence, I'll suggest the Therapeutic Community and Mental Health Unit, because I did see that the court had ordered mental health. So the therapeutic community and mental health unit doesn't increase the time that you're in custody, but they may be able to address any issues that you have. So when you're released from prison, you'll be successful. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Martinez, are you all ready? And state you may be excused.
Thank you, Your
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find, yeah. All right, we're back on the record in 2020 CR. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Judge, can I just get his name? I
No,
didn't.
no problem. All right, no problem. We're gonna go back on the record in 2020 CR 0123, State of Texas versus Michael Sandoval and Mr. Martinez. Did you have an update for the court?
Yes, Your Honor, I went out in the hallway and the mom did have that number that I need to call. I called and I spoke to an individual by the name of Isaac Garza. And he's supposed to be his boss. And he says, yeah, he has been working for him. And that the good news was that they have a big contract coming up that he claims that he will keep my client busy probably 50, 60 hour minimum per week. So it got verified, Judge.
All right, thank you so much. The court will find you guilty. The court will revoke. The court will follow your agreement and you're waiving your right to appeal. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 100 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244 and give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. You could have completed this and not have a felony conviction.
Yes.
Now you have a felony conviction. So as you go through your life, everything that you do from here on out, because you have a child, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to ask yourself, am I doing things that will make my child proud to tell other people this is my dad? Am I going to be the father that when there's a father dance or a picnic or whatever is going on, my child is going to run to me because they know who I am and I'm a hard worker for them and I speak with them. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Be that parent and don't start smoking any marijuana around your children or smoking marijuana at all. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, who's here on John Arlen Tharnert? Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. If he'll come forward, please.
How you been, Judge?
All right, how's it going?
Good. Just running around everybody.
Hey, come forward, sir. All right, counsel, where are we on discovery?
We are still working on that and there's a issue with the indictment, but I talked to Mr. Garahan, so we may or may not correct that and we're still going to try and see if we can get it resolved also.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ferguson, this will be the last time for discovery. We're going to recall it in 30 days for a discovery.
Thank you, Judge.
And it's, all right, so we'll be back on August 15th. That will be your discovery date.
Appreciate you.
All right, you're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Yes, ma'am.
August 16 or 15? 15, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day,
You're
Judge.
welcome. Who's here on Stephen Gibson? Good morning. Where's your client?
He's in the back, Judge. He's waiting competency restoration. He last week agreed finally to jail base.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this one, if you can recall this in September. Yes. All right, we're gonna come back on September 12th.
That's fine. Thank you.
And Norma, on that one, if you can make it a phantom date because he's incompetent. All right, thank you.
He's getting better.
That is awesome. Well, maybe they'll restore him.
Well, it's a quick order medication.
Ah, you just never know. Travis Mann.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Mann, come forward. Hello, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Miss.
All right, so today is plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge.
So is it gonna be a jury trial or you all gonna come to an agreement?
Jury trial, Judge.
All right. Who's the prosecutor? Jade, how long do you expect this trial to last? It's an evading arrest with a vehicle and attempt to take a weapon from an officer.
Sounds like one or two witnesses, Judge, so not that long, maybe 2 days.
All right, Norma, this is criminal trial division. It's 2 days for trial. And state on this case, both of these cases, if I could get an acknowledgement of discovery?
Yes.
Okay, and so counsel, they'll give you an acknowledgement of discovery and you need to sign that before you leave.
Yes, Judge.
All right, September 3rd will be your jury trial date.
September 3rd.
Yes, they're gonna give you a reset form, so you'll have it.
Thank you, Judge.
You're
Will we
welcome.
be excused after we sign the discovery acknowledgement?
Yes, and after he gets his reset form.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's here on Carly Green? All right. So jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State, how long do you expect this jury trial to last? This aggravated kidnapping?
This might last a little longer, Judge, 2 to 3 days.
All right.
I agree, 2 to 3 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, criminal trial division, jury trial date, 3 days.
I can do this September 3rd as well.
All right, we'll be back on September 3rd. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court and being on time. All right, once you sign the reset form, you all will be excused. And I believe I already have the acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
I'll see what we'll get right back to you.
Who's here on Dean Pablo Delgado?
I am, Your Honor. Yeah.
Yes.
This is a bond hearing, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have the bond motion.
Oh, I have it.
You got,
Yes.
okay, just want to make
But
that sure.
I like when people have that because you never know. It goes missing. All right, and have you conferred with the state on a possible agreement to the motion or no?
Yes, I have,
Oh.
for one of the motions, Your Honor.
Okay, there's 2 motions?
There are 2 motions.
Ah. Well, I may need that. The only motion I have is a motion to set bond.
I'll give both.
All right, thank you.
One is the CM. We haven't
Ah,
really discussed the CM, but we did discuss the DC.
let me find him on the docket. All right. Court is going to call for purposes of setting a bond, 2022 CR 3996 and CM 114252, State of Texas versus Dean Pablo Delgado. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Edelman.
Defense?
Bonds are removed for Mr. Delgado.
All right, and there's a request for bond in each of these cause numbers. The first bond request for the 2022 CR 3996, the defendant is on deferred adjudication. He's entitled to a bond and he's on deferred adjudication for the state jail felony on unauthorized use of a vehicle. Is there a proposed agreement for a bond amount?
Yes, there is, Your Honor.
Yes.
7,000, Your Honor.
That is the agreement, Your Honor.
All right. For the record, the court is aware of the defendant's history based upon the fact that the defendant is on deferred adjudication out of this court. However, since he's been in custody, I just want to make sure there are no updates that the court needs. Mr. Delgado, can you raise your right hand for the court, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Delgado.
All right, since you've been at the Bexar County Jail, are you on any type of medications for mental health issues? All right. Have you ever had any mental health issues? All right, then with regards to the bond, the court will follow your agreement and in that cause number, set the bond at $7,000. Mr. Delgado, do you have a place to live? And who you'll be living with? All right, I'm gonna need you all to write the address in this document and I'll let you have a chance to speak with him in private to write the address down.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, now in regards to CM 114252, is there a proposed bond agreement?
There is no agreement in this one, Your Honor.
There's not an agreement on this.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
I'm requesting $3,000 bond.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
15,000, Your Honor.
All right, and all right, there's a wide gap between what's being requested. So if we'll start with you, defense, it's your motion. Why are you requesting a $3,000 bond?
Well, Your Honor, the bond has not been set. In my opinion, I have looked at the underlying crime that he is accused of committing on this case. And I feel that his participation in the theft of the firearm is fairly limited, Your Honor. And in addition, Mr. Delgado, when he found out that there was a warrant, this offense date was in 2023. When he found out that there was a warrant on this case, he did voluntarily go to the jail and submit for custody.
All right, and counsel, the only bond that, if you have the separate bond paperwork, please give it to me, but I see that we're just here on the CM 114252, and I'm assuming he has a bond on the CM 114250.
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
All right, and what is that bond amount in that case?
That is 15,000, Your Honor.
All right, and state you're requesting 15,000?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and why?
On the basis that while Mr. Pablo Delgado was on supervision for an offense he is accused of committing to others, that the magistrate court judge saw fit to set his bond in one of those cases at 15,000. It stands to reason that his bond should be the same in an offense that arises out of the same criminal episode.
All right, so in that cause number, this is what the court will do. And Mr. Delgado, I want to let you know that I've heard what your attorney has said. I've heard what the state has said, and I'm looking at the fact that you are currently on probation. And the cases that you're alleged to have committed while you were on probation are theft of a vehicle and theft of a firearm. And I understand what your counsel is saying about the facts and the theft of the firearm. Court is going to set your bond and the CM number at $10,000, and the court is going to order full GPS and waive the fees.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you're to reside with your mother and defense counsel. If you write the address to them in that motion, please.
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
All right, next, we're off the record. We need a date for this for a contested hearing. Counsel, do you have the discovery on the CM numbers?
On both of them, not quite, Your Honor. I haven't seen the videos on this,
All right.
Your Honor, but the state did provide me the written report from the police department, Your Honor.
All right.
And I believe, Your Honor, if I may, I believe the contested hearing is set for August
August
1st.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to keep the August 1st date. Is there anything else from either side?
State, Your Honor.
Not this time, Your Honor.
All right, we'll close the record. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give him an August, thank you. Yes. And he'll provide you with that motion with his client's address. Ramon Sanchez. Good morning. All right, today is your plea deadline date. This-
Yes, there's a discovery issue that I want
All right, what is the discovery issue?
I checked the website yesterday,
Mhm.
to review discovery, and I had not received the medical reports. This is an assault on a public servant.
Okay,
And I checked yesterday and I didn't find anything except a one-page discharge form. But I see that there are medical reports in the file, which I reviewed very briefly. And what I'm asking is a 2-week reset for them to put the medical reports into the system so I can review them with my client, and then I'll come back with a.
all right, and those, the medical reports that you have in the file?
Yes, those are the medical reports.
So that's the entirety of the medical reports.
Yes.
Let me see how many pages is that? Not that many,
I know it's about that, but I'd say it's about 100 pages.
100 pages. State.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, is anyone able to just go upstairs and print out this medical report for defense counsel? Is that possible?
I do not know, Your Honor.
Okay. Because he's saying he's waiting for the medical records to be uploaded, and I know there are some issues with Odyssey. So,
Your Honor, if the medical records were included with the case file when it was indicted, then it should have already been uploaded, which leads me to believe that the problem is not that the documents have not been uploaded, but that defense counsel cannot access them, in which case the better course of action would be to take the scanned documents, convert them to a disk to make available to defense counsel.
all right.
I could bring a flash drive tomorrow,
Okay,
bring it to the DA, they could make a copy, it'd be fine.
okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this case and let me see. If you can recall it the second week in August, and that will be your final plea deadline date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, August 12th.
Fine, thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you. Aiden Martinez. Hello.
How you doing, Judge?
All right, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing good.
My allergies are not doing well today, though, but
It's almost Friday, so.
hey, it is Friday Eve, which is always a good thing. All right, so where are we on labs?
The labs are in, Judge.
Okay.
So Judge, if I could just express some concerns of mine to the court.
Yes.
The lab results came in. I
Mhm.
retrieved them earlier this week.
Mhm.
The file was so big that they could not download it to the e-discovery. So it was on a disk. I went to go retrieve the disk. And to my surprise, it's like 2,500 pages.
2,500 pages.
It's about 2,500 pages.
Like of Shakespeare's work.
It's huge. I've started going through some of it.
It's
and
the
then
War and Peace of drug testing.
And my head just started spinning, Judge, just.
War
from
and
the-
Peace of drug testing on marijuana.
Yeah. So, a couple of things I want to.
Anna Karenina.
Yeah. A couple of things I want to express to the court. Since 2019.
The English Patient.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking of long movies and long things.
Since 2019, once the law.
Yeah.
In reference to marijuana changed, I have not had to try one of these cases. I don't think anybody has had to try any of these cases. And I am trying to make sure I have everything straight
Mhm.
before I can properly advise my client.
All right, let me ask this. State, were you able to tender an offer?
There is an offer, there is an offer on the table.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna recall this in 45 days, and that will be your plea deadline date.
Okay. One more thing, Judge. If we do lean towards trying this case, again, through the association, Criminal Defense Lawyers Association, nobody's had to try any of these cases since like 2019.
Are you giving the state hints? Nobody
No.
else ever had to try these.
No.
You know, it's the infamous, when we would have clients who had driving while license invalid, they would be like, nobody's ever tried these cases.
Well,
And nobody would, something would always happen.
well, I'm not gonna say nobody's tried any of these cases. What I am saying is, when I put the question out there, who's had to try when nobody responds? So that just means that
Maybe they're
whoever's.
just not looking at their emails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Judge, this is the other thing I'd like for you to consider. Just in case we figure out that we do have to try this case.
Mhm.
I would like to try to get ahead of the game and ask the court. I don't know if you've had to try one recently in your court, but if you,
Nobody ever tries these cases.
if you have a standard jury charge that without hearing any of the evidence, the standard base jury charge that you would probably use if your charge writer could give me a copy of that.
Mhm.
And that's gonna also assist me in reviewing the
Sure.
scientific information, and I could properly advise him on which way I think we should go.
Okay.
The other thing is this, Judge, and the last thing, and I know you've already said it, but I would ask if you would be a little patient with me, a little patient with Jason, and maybe not give us the 45-day deadline, because you did make me a generous offer.
Mhm.
I'm just covering myself before I
You know what,
do
you're
that.
taking me back to my Sunday school days where they would have everybody sing, be patient with me, God isn't through with me
Yeah.
yet. But
And,
no,
and,
I mean,
and I've been working diligently towards this.
Well, no,
and so
we'll
has
see where
Jason.
we are in 45 days will be a plea deadline date. We'll see where we are in 45 days. Okay,
Will do.
all right.
Thank you, Judge. And
You're
then
so welcome.
when can I get back to you in reference to that, a jury charge?
Probably next week.
Next week? Thank you, Judge. I appreciate
I'll
you.
look over it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 45-day reset. And it's on Aiden Taylor Martinez. He's on page 2. All right, September 3rd. You know how that week is gonna go. Because that first day is on. Okay, I'm sorry, I put it out there, didn't I? It's gonna be fabulous.
What page is he on to?
He's on page 2. Zach is looking at me like,
Looking at you, Judge.
is there any way we can unput it out there?
Your Honor, may I?
Yes.
A rejection for Ms. Lewis.
Right, thank you.
Her case, not her personal.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Oh, and Norma, did the attorney turn in that motion with the defendant's address where he will be staying?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Israel Medellin. Everyone, the court is taking its recess at 12. If your client has not been here, you need to pick up the phone. I'm sorry, if your attorney's not been here, you need to pick up the phone and call them. Oh, I've already signed it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no problem. We're doing a lot. It's a lot of moving parts today.
I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, for this one. I'll do it tonight.
Mr. Juarez, we're still waiting for your attorney to come.
He texted me, he said he was coming.
Well, he didn't notify me, so I'll them to notify her.
All right, thank you.
Oh my gosh, look at all these. Wow, Jack.
Deputy Laura, this is, wow. This is so awesome, and they smell so great. I am telling you, you never know what your day is gonna bring, right? You just have to be ready and assume that it's gonna be happiness and joy. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that is so beautiful. And you know, I'm ready for a relationship because you know, the flowers. Just 1 second. All right, Mr. Pettis. So I went next door to see what is happening with your case as far as being in the mental health court.
Yes,
So there are two people that you and your attorney are going to need to contact.
okay,
But I'm going to reset you. And I'm going to reset you for 30 days. But the way the mental health court works, if they accept you, your case will go to the mental health court. You won't be in court here anymore.
okay, okay,
All right. So, but the date I'm giving you is going to be 30 days and it will be here.
okay,
If you show up here and you need to be in mental health court, then we'll send you to mental health court.
okay.
But you need to make sure you show up here. You understand?
Yes,
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on that, if I can have a 30-day reset. All right, so we're gonna bring you back on August 19th.
okay,
And Ms. Ferguson is gonna give you the contact information for those two persons, and your attorney will have it as well through email.
thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, you look great too, so.
All right, well, you have a great day. I
You
tell
too.
you what, it's looking stormy outside.
It is? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it's very dark outside.
Well, you keep safe also. I don't have a raincoat, but I think you probably do have a raincoat.
Well, no, I have an umbrella. I always
That's good.
carry an
That's even
umbrella.
better.
Yes. All right.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
All right, well, once they give you a reset form, you'll be excused.
All
okay?
right, yes. I'll sit down right now and they can send you.
And Norma, what page is he on? All right, thank you. Oh, it's under Frank Pettis? Okay. All right, it's gonna be Romero, Guzman, and then it will be Simmons after that. And then after that, it will be Moody and Juarez. All right, are you okay, Mr. Guzman? All right, court is calling 2024 CR 6742, State of Texas versus Romero Guzman. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Salem.
Defense,
Roberto Ambrosino.
are you Mr. Guzman? All right, counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Guzman, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that you're charged with the offense of fraudulent use of possession of identifying information less than 5 items as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Guzman, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's $1,000 fine to be probated, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There have not.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with Shalisa Thomas and Anna Chavez. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No causes.
State any evidence.
And in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right. State you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Would just like to ask the court to follow the plea bargain agreement. He's been in for 4 months, so he's had some time to reflect on the situation and I think he's going to try.
All right, how old are you?
23.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any family support?
No.
All right, why do you say no, not right now? Who would be your family support? Where are your parents?
My dad, I think he's in state jail right now, and my mom, I had bad terms with her the last time I spoke to her. We ended on bad terms.
All right, and what's the tattoo across your head? What's that about?
That's my mom.
Okay. So was Child Protective Services ever involved in your life when you were a child?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you know why?
I was told multiple stories, neglect, abuse, all that.
Okay. So how often were you using drugs when you were not in custody?
I was doing a lot.
Okay, and what were you using?
Methamphetamine, marijuana.
And do you have a place to stay?
Not at the moment, no.
Have you ever had employment?
Yes.
Doing what?
Construction work.
Okay. And when's the first time you started using?
I started using marijuana at like 12, and methamphetamine I just started like last year.
Okay. How far did you go in school?
11th grade.
Right. Why did you only go to the 11th grade?
I aged out of CPS and I was on the streets and I had to worry about everything else that I was going through.
Okay. So what are your hopes and your dreams as far as employment?
I want to be an entrepreneur and get into real estate, help people. That's it.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, people will always say, that dream is not realistic. But I know someone who went to felony drug court and everybody was telling them, not realistic that you can be an attorney. And guess what? That person is a licensed attorney. So I will tell you what you want to do. It can be done, but you just made it harder for yourself to get that done. You understand? So if you really want to do it, you're going to have to really work hard. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. If he completes everything early, then he can always come back. I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court. I think that's the best place for him. They'll help him with housing and give him some sort of stability. That evaluation is going to take place while you're in custody. Since tomorrow is Friday, they'll probably be able to see you Monday, and they will let me know whether or not you've been accepted by Tuesday. I want you to be 100% honest with them, because you're not going to be able to make it on probation on your own. And when I say on your own, it's up to you, of course, but you're not going to be able to make it if you don't have the tools to remain clean and sober, because where you are in your life right now is you don't have a place to stay. You have 11th grade education. You don't have any family support. It's just you in the world on your own. And that's not good when you have drug problems on top of that. Do you understand? All right.
Judge,
Yes.
would the court consider deferred adjudication? And the reason I ask is because the state is actually offering that, but the term is going to be longer. But since the term is longer anyway, my guess is they wouldn't have any objection to it.
Do you mind if I join this conversation?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
All right. So I know that outside the agreement, you all asked for 3 years community supervision. I'm going to give him 4 years community supervision. Defense counsel is now saying, could they receive deferred?
That was our initial offer, Your Honor.
All right.
For deferred, I don't think he wanted to do the extra year, but if he's doing the extra year, then we might as well.
All right. So with the deferred adjudication, what that means is if you complete it successfully, the case is going to show up on your record, but it will show that you were placed on deferred adjudication and there will be no conviction. But the downside to deferred, which you're already facing that downside anyway, is that the full range of punishment is open to the court. So would you like for the court to place you on deferred?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So
Interview me, say they were gonna send her that to see if she accept the recommendation.
Okay, I guess he's been interviewed by Lifetime Recovery.
all right.
that's
So
something
what
he's
will
up
end
for.
up, what will end up happening with that? Felony drug court will interview you, and felony drug court may say the best placement for you is lifetime. But honestly, I think you need something more stringent than lifetime based upon your drug use. And where you are in your life today, it's not saying that this is where you're going to end up. But I want you to get the conditions you need in order for you to be clean and healthy. All right, so it's going to be 4 years deferred adjudication, referral to felony drug court in custody. If not accepted, then TAP evaluation in custody. Follow TAP recommendations. There is to be no contact with Shalisa Thomas, Anna Chavez, and I'm going to add the location of the offense. And the reason why I'm adding that, Mr. Guzman, is because they did a trespass warning against you. So if you show up, you can be arrested because they've already given you a no trespass warning. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's to be no contact with 8719 Warsbach Road, San Antonio, Texas 78240. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be the UA hotline until further notice. 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Field visits. 1 time per month until further notice. Proof of employment within 60 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you complete some sort of higher education course, if you complete a trade school, or if you obtain your GED. Probation, is there anything else you need? All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure files. I think they have it. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. In this court, to be successful in probation, communication is key. Communicate with your probation officer. If you feel as though they're not addressing the issues you're coming to them with, you can always come back to this court and address them with me. I'm here from Monday through Friday, not on weekends or holidays. If a felony drug court accepts you and you graduate, I will make sure I come to your graduation. And this is something that you really, really need, okay? All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. And what page? All right, you too. Good luck to the Steelers. I guess I shouldn't say that in cowboy country, but oh well. Yes. Just 1 second. What page is he on? Okay. Yes.
I had the plea paperwork over an hour and a half ago. There was something not marked on here, and
Okay.
there is a discussion between the prosecutor and myself, taking it, not these prosecutors here, but I've admonished him for chapter 62, something wasn't here, but he's something corrected.
Mhm.
And I know this, sometimes we come back after a break.
Mhm.
I just need a little bit more time. Can I come back after 1:30?
Sure.
Okay, okay.
All right.
And I leave the paperwork here, but
Yes.
I need to check something first.
All right, sure.
Okay.
All right, just let the clerk and the coordinator know. All right, who's here on Jamaria Simmons? All right, I think. Who was the prosecutor on this?
Mr. Garahan.
Okay, so as soon as he comes back in,
If you want to skip and do your other
Yeah.
stuff, I got it. Fine.
Andre Moody. Andre Moody?
She's went to her trial, but she's running back and forth.
Okay. Jay Juarez and let me see, and Jonathan Olege. You say there is a update?
And I forgot to ask the most important question. Alberto Hernandez, may he be excused till 1:30 also?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Norma Onolege and Juarez. You want to set that for,
And what is judge was restitution hearing as well.
all right, do you want to set it for August 1st? All right. Yes.
Mr. Wattage, come on.
And number, what page is Warren's on? Oh, okay. Gilbert Orozco.
I'm waiting on Mr. Garahan.
Okay,
I have not gotten an offer yet, but that's not his fault necessarily. It's just, that's what I'm waiting on.
okay.
Is he coming back? I mean, I guess he,
Oh, yeah, he's coming back.
okay. Thank you.
All right, could I see the file on Angela Redwine, please?
Yeah.
Angela Redwine.
In jail.
All right. So we're gonna, Norma. Her attorney is John Kuntz.
Yes.
And, we're gonna recall this because,
Yeah.
So Miss Redwine, we're gonna bring you back on August 8th, okay?
Oh.
No, I don't have Garcia.
Sorry.
I'm ready on all fronts, too.
All right, Roseanne Garcia.
Judge, she actually fainted on the way over here in transport.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope she's okay. Oh, at the gym.
I do too.
All right, so what we'll do. Norma, let's recall her back on the 25th. Are you okay on July 25th?
Check. I'm on drug court this month, Judge. Would it be possible to do the 24th? So I'm not super late.
I can do the 22nd, 23rd.
I do the 22nd, Judge.
All right. All right, yes, Garcia. All right, we'll bring her back on the 23rd.
I see.
All right, so the cases the court is taking up, then we're gonna go on recess. It's going to be Simmons, Orozco, Moody.
Yeah, that's me.
All right. All right, are you all ready on Simmons? Okay. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 7730. State of Texas versus Jamarii Devon Simmons. If I have parties announced for the state,
Jason Garrett.
for the defense,
Charles Bunk.
All right. And counsel, you are here. You filed a motion to reconsider.
Yes, Judge, and I have copies of the motion if you don't.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, State, have you had a chance to review defense's motion?
Yeah, no, I haven't. Well. Yep, okay.
All right. State, do you have objections?
Yes, Your Honor, we object to any other sentence other than the 4 years that was assessed.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
I do, Judge.
All right, you may call your first witness.
We'll call Gigi Hughes.
All right, Ms. Hughes? All right, can you raise your right hand? Good morning. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Gigi Hughes,
All right.
GIGIHUGHS.
And for the record, state defense, I do know Ms. Hughes, we have not had breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or been to either's homes. No gifts have been exchanged. So is there any objection to the court hearing her testimony?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No,
And
Judge.
Judge, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And Judge, just to let the record be fair, I also do know GD.
Okay.
And likewise, no gifts or anything like that. And there's no objection from defense.
I feel left out, but I don't object.
Maybe we should have lunch. I don't know.
I would like that. May I proceed?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes, on behalf, you contacted my office and you indicated that you had a relationship with Mr. Simmons's family. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I spoke to you and I indicated that Mr. Simmons had been sentenced by this honorable court to a sentence of 4 years. And you said that perhaps you'd like the opportunity to address the court regarding that sentence. And so, are there some things regarding Mr. Simmons and his sentence you'd like to address to the court?
Yes, sir.
And if the court, if I may, I'd just like, to expedite the process, I'd just like to let Ms. Hughes speak on Mr. Simmons' behalf.
Sure.
Okay, Ms. Hughes, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, Judge, currently Jamari is in CDL program. My son owns a trucking company. He works within that group of recruiting young men who might need to be steered back. But the most important thing is Jamari has been raising his son, who's currently, I'm babysitting now in my home with my 5-year-old son. We're related through this family that Jamari's sister is the baby's mother to my grandchildren. So I know the family really well. But he's been working to really kind of steer his life right. I was most impressed with his fathering of his child. He's had his child since he was 5 months old. I know he was currently on probation. I know he goes to the classes that we're holding now at Sacred Baptist Church, so that they can kind of steer and help with their anger. But I don't know if Jamari attended the first 3, but we're gonna get him back in that program. And we're gonna ensure that he gets his CDL. I think he needed 3 more weeks to complete that. But because of the monitor, I think it limited some of his time. But, oh, I talked lawyer when I said I swear. Oh, I'm sorry. So what we're doing now is just currently working with him in the community with the program that I wrote a grant for. So hopefully we can get him, well, he is on the right track, just that incident that happened that we are trying to make sure we keep him straight, especially for his son's sake.
Ms. Hughes, if the court was to grant our request and reconsider his sentence, would you continue to assist Mr. Simmons in his road to recovery and continue to help steer him in getting back on track and help him continue to raise his son and be a good father and be a good contributor to society?
Yes, most definitely, because we do check with them once a week, once they get back in that CDL program. And I think there's some more classes that he's currently taking. His mother knows more about those. So he was on a track, it's just that track and he got steered off really fast. Just things happen that he just didn't control.
And you have been in contact with his family while he has been in TDC, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And his mother's here also today, is that also
Yes,
correct?
actually, his son is at my home now with my 5-year-old grandson. So,
Anything else you'd like to tell the judge on behalf of Mr. Simmons or that you think would help her as he makes this decision today on the many different things she could do to help Mr. Simmons in this situation?
no, yeah, but we will monitor him once a week. We will stay in touch with him and check on the baby. Truth is the baby's name, but we will check with him every week and make sure he's doing okay. A lot of positive interjection there, so they tend to work out. I've had no repeats so far. Thank God, but it's working pretty good.
All right.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, any questions?
Just a few questions.
Yes,
Ma'am,
sir.
I mean, one, you don't know any of the facts about the case, the aggravated assault that we got to do.
Well, yes, I know a little bit.
A little bit of it.
I know it's college being done.
And do you know the victims associated with this case?
No, I don't.
Okay. And you don't know that he was actually convicted of a burglary of a habitation years ago. Are you aware of that?
No, I know he had some juvenile issues,
Right.
but that's why we were trying to steer him before he really.
And that's what I'm speaking of. He
Right.
actually had a burglary of habitation that's juvenile, but then he also was on probation for possession of marijuana, 4 ounces to 5 pounds. Are you aware of that?
No.
Thank you very much. No further questions.
Okay.
All right,
That's
thank
all I
you
have.
so
All right,
much.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd call his mother Miss Simmons.
All right, Ms. Simmons, if you come forward. Hello.
Hello.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the
Okay.
record.
April Simmons.
All
Yeah,
right,
thank you.
yes.
Ms. Simmons, I know you've spoken to the court before regarding your son. And I would like to briefly talk to you. Have you had a chance to remain in contact with him since he's been in the prison system?
Yes.
And have you seen changes in him and his attitude since he's been incarcerated?
Yes.
And can you briefly describe for the court some of the changes you observed? Or have you seen him in person or just talked to him on the
Just
phone? Okay, can you kind of tell the judge what you've heard or what you've noticed as you've spoken to him?
Just pretty much, he's in good spirit, but his energy like this. I don't know how to explain it, but it's different. I can tell the difference. Like, he got his head on right. He just got good energy. I just I just know the difference with the conversations that we have. But like I say, most importantly is it's about his son. And then I have to get emotional. But also, I don't know if it matters or not, but like right now, our family is going through a lot because since Jamari has been incarcerated, we just lost my nephew. He just died on the 5th with the shooting that occurred recently. And then I have another nephew that's fighting for his life. So at this point, I just wish Jamari can be at home because it's a time like I just want all my family together, pretty much. I did, but I can't tell the difference. Like I say, he got his head on right.
Now, you realize today we're asking the court, there's several things the judge could consider at this point. She could, if she chose to, she could reconsider her decision and grant him the probation we originally asked for with all the conditions that we presented to the court on that day. She could reconsider her sentence. She could potentially grant him the credit for the 238 days he wore the monitor while he was awaiting her decision. There's lots of things she could do today, and we would of course appreciate any consideration she gave us.
Yes.
But let's talk just briefly about True, his son, and how old is he now?
5.
And when we were before the court on the day that she made her decision, we told the judge he was the sole provider for his son. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so what's happened to True since then? Where does he live? Who's taking care of him?
What's his status?
He stays with us, but with me and with me and my family, but since it's the summertime, like he just goes to Miss Gigi house or he go to my daughter's house. So it's with the family. It's just because everyone has children with his cousin and them, so we try to just keep them all together. But he's in a stable environment. It's just we got a lot of siblings, so he goes from cousin to cousin or at my house mainly. He's just amongst with the family.
And it's your hope that if the judge was to reconsider, that Drew could be back with his dad could go back to getting back to work.
Yes,
And at least that part of Drew's life could be somewhat more stable.
yes.
Anything else you'd like to tell the judge before, as she considers our request? I know you're nervous and I know it's hard. And I understand that.
I just hope he can come home or just be back with the family. Do the right thing.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, any questions?
Yes, just briefly, Mr. Simmons.
Yeah.
I mean, one, you're aware that your son had a previous conviction, a juvenile for burglary of a habitation. And that was in 2013, and then he was adjudicated on that in 2017. And then at that time, he actually, in 2020, he was on probation for possession of marijuana 4 ounces to 5 pounds for deferred. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
And are you aware that on that day of possession of 4 ounces to 5 pounds, that happened on May 31st, 2019? Around that time. I know you probably don't know the exact dates.
Yeah.
But you aware that in the commission of that possession of that marijuana, he also had a handgun in possession at that time?
If I can remember, like I believe, I don't know how actually with the marijuana and the handgun, he was from my understanding, it was supposed to be some kind of different identity thing. So he was supposed to be fighting the charge from what I know from them two charges. So it was supposed to have been a mistaken identity for that.
Well, you did plead to that and he took 4 years deferred. Are you aware of that? And in fact, at the time of the commission of what he's currently serving prison time for, this ag assault, he was actually on deferred for that possession of marijuana. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And so going to the ag assault that he's currently sitting in prison for 4 years, are you aware of any of the facts on that case? Did you speak with your son about the case?
To be honest, no, I mean, to be honest, I didn't actually speak to him because like my son don't try to bring a lot of negativity to me, but like for support, I just try to.
Of course. I mean, you're his mother. I mean, you should support him all the way, no matter what happens. And I'm not faulting you for that at all. I was just asking, in general, did you have any knowledge? And you're saying you don't because you didn't really discuss that with him. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all the witnesses I have, Judge.
All right, the court will hear brief argument.
Oh, yeah, the judge, state over first. A state's still in the position, Judge, that, I mean, assessing 4 years, Texas Department of Corrections for this individual for the crime that was committed is appropriate. It's actually on the lower side of any type of sentence. So we believe that the 4 years sentence is appropriate in this case.
Mr. Bach?
Judge, first, we appreciate the court giving us the opportunity to be heard. We do believe that, as we said the day that you sentenced him, there were lots of things available to the court. And I'm sure the court still has in its possession the list of things we proposed that day. Of course, we would love for the court to consider bringing him back and placing him on supervision. If that's still not something the court would consider, we would appreciate any consideration the court could give to either one, reconsidering the number of years sentencing him or in the alternative, potentially giving him credit at least for the 238 days that he wore the monitor while he was awaiting the resolution of these cases. But that's our request and we appreciate your time.
Thank you. So to his family, I want you to know that when I sentence people to prison, I don't do that lightly. I don't just throw out years. I don't say, 20 years, 30 years, and just forget about it. There is a reason behind the years that I sentence people. For example, they may be someone who's before me, who's charged with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They may end up with 2 years, or they may end up with 10, or maybe 20. Everything for me is on a case by case basis. And I do remember this case because I remember all of the cases that come before me. And there are a host of things that were going on. And that's the reason for the 4-year sentence. And I think that was an appropriate sentence for him. And we can go off the record. Considered your argument and your motion is denied.
Would you consider the request for the 238 days credit while he was on the monitor?
No. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May we be excused?
All right, thank you. And you did a great service to your client.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, who's here? Moody? And then we're gonna take our break. And I mean, Dwight, I think you have something with Jason. Once you finish with Jason, then we're gonna take our break. All right, let me take up Moody first. All right, yes, what is happening here, counsel?
Judge, I think the state is still getting some information in regards to the new number 1.
Okay.
And so at this time, I think it would be a contested until we determine otherwise.
All right, so we will set it for contested. Ms. Ferguson. I need a setting for a contested. And counsel, do you have any of the discovery on the new number 1 and are you on the new number 1?
And I'm also gonna need the discovery on the sealed cases.
Yeah, so we won't be providing the sealed, we don't have them ourselves, they're sealed, and I already showed council the JN, which would link to the new number one. I showed it to council, there's 2 PDFs, and I printed one out for her already, so.
Judge, the pending charge is a continuous family violence. Part of that continuous is based on the sealed case. And
Well,
so-
okay, here's the thing, everybody, keep it here. You're gonna get your discovery. I mean, discovery will be given. I'm just trying to figure out where we are in discovery, so I'll know what type of setting to give you.
Absolutely.
So, council, if you will check with intake or whoever it is to see where they have the discovery on this case, the sealed case, and when they are planning on unsealing it.
I am happy to ask, Your Honor.
All right,
I'm happy to ask.
all right. Ms. Ferguson, if you'll set this for a contested in 45 days, please.
I can do September 3rd.
All right, September 3rd, contested. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I remember that also. Who is here on Gilbert Orozco? Yes. See, Norma, I say we're gonna be out by 12 and then you give me more cases. I'm gonna have to blame somebody. I'm gonna blame Norma. Yes,
I just got an offer,
okay.
and that's not his fault. It's just the communication.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, is Orozco on bond or?
Bond.
All right, Mr. Orozco, come forward. Ms. Ferguson, give me a plea deadline date in 3 weeks, please.
Well,
Yes,
in August, yeah. I'll be back July 31st.
yes.
Yeah. August 8th, okay.
All right, we'll be back on August 8th. On August 8th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're coming to an agreement with the state. If you do not, the next setting will be a trial setting. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Thanks, George.
You're welcome. Will Brooks, who are you here for? All right, Vincent Alfonso.
Yes.
All right, State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to go on the record in night mag number 760861, State of Texas versus Vincent Alfonso Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Harrison, State.
Will Brooks for Mr. Alfonso Jr. Judge.
And are you Mr. Alfonso Jr.?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense has filed a motion seeking a bail reduction due to delay. State,
Yes, Your Honor.
you may proceed. Do you have any argument? Defense is stating that, of course, he needs to have his bond set to a bond he can make because of the delay. So is there any bond amount that he can make, or are you asking for a PR bond?
I'm asking for a PR bond, Judge. He's indigent. He has been incarcerated prior to Bear County. You were in another county? But he is indigent, Judge. I'm appointed. I can tell you quite frankly why I'm asking for a PR bond too, Judge. He has some out-of-county warrants. I think there's a total of 4. They're out of Dallas County is my understanding. And the charges are more significant than here. So my thought is they come and pick him up and he's able to work through those matters up there.
Okay, so before we do that, State, do you know about these charges out of Dallas County?
I only know what Mr. Brooks has relayed to me, that at least 2 of them are robbery cases. With bonds totaling 175,000 when all are taken together. I know that in this felon possession firearm, this case was reassigned to ADA BOSIS on July 12th of 2024. I am also vaguely aware that our new case management system has hindered my office's ability to correctly calculate the amount of time that people are confined in the jail from the point of their arrest. So I don't know when or if Mr. BOSIS will get to this case in a timely fashion.
I could, If the court will permit me, I can show you where I found on Tyler that it shows he's actually booked in on those out of county warrants. It shows bail amounts. It just doesn't show a charge description.
All right, so my question is, what date was he booked in?
Oh, he was booked on, let's see, 4/15.
No, arrested the third.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Time out. Everyone, we're gonna take our recess. And what I'm gonna need to know is when he was booked into the jail so that I can calculate and all parties can calculate whether or not it is actually 90 days or not.
Can I show the court my Tyler? It shows at least where it's saying he was booked and that's been at least 90 days, even if this date is.
Okay, I appreciate Tyler, but I do.
get that too. Yeah.
Don't know Tyler's last name, but I appreciate Tyler. So we're off the record. What we're gonna do is we're gonna contact the jail. If nobody has any objection, I'll contact the jail and we'll see when he was booked in at the jail. And, or either the state or the defense, you all can call the jail, see when he was booked in at the jail, and we'll start the calculations there. I know there's an issue with our current system. Even the clerks can't calculate the dates on there because nobody who installed the system asked for that because they didn't talk to the people who would actually be using the system. But that's an argument for another day. So we're gonna take our break and we will be back at 1:30-ish.
Understood.
And Mr. Brooks, if you can't be here in person, if there's no objection for this from the state, you can zoom in.
Okay.
There's no objection from the state, Your Honor.
All right, so you can zoom in.
Okay.